Standing in the middle of Belfast is the Europa, the most bombed hotel in the world. They say to mix a drink in the Europa, you put the ingredients into a shaker, stand still, and the hotel goes up and down. But, like a well-defined martini, the Europa remains shaken, but barely stirred. It is customary for four-star luxury hotels to pamper an arriving guest.
You do this to everybody, do you? Yes, sir.
But some might find that a Europa welcome can be somewhat degrading. The foyer has the familiar appearance of any major hotel in a city at war. TV crews prepare to film stories on the conflict outside. One can spot some familiar faces passing to and fro, or admire others merely parading to be spotted. But the hotel is really an exclusive club for journalists.
Quote, exasperated and at the end of its patience, stop, unquote, paragraph.
Alors, Monsieur Chauvel, bonjour. Bah, toujours à Belfast, il n'y a pas grand-chose à faire.
Because the hotel has been a terrorist target, one can sometimes find the news on one's own doorstep. There have been 5 bomb attacks on the Europa. Head porter Tommy Dunn remembers one of them in particular.
They came in with the guns and were holding us at bay here, and one of the receptionists came in through the back door, and she realised right away what was going on, but they hadn't seen her, and she nipped out in her hunkers round to the switchboard, and they thought she was going daft. She was down on her hands and knees. There's a man out there with guns, phone the police quick, and they were laughing at her. They didn't realise there really was a hold-up going on at the time.
The staff of the Europa now accept bombings and shootings as part of their daily lives. They reflect the courage of so many ordinary men and women in Ulster who found themselves caught up in a guerrilla war and regard coping with terrorism as a normal part of their work.
We can't leave until we get everyone out. And then if it really would be a real emergency, we'd have to tannoy everybody. We have a tannoy that goes into the public rooms and a tannoy that goes into the corridors and the bedrooms.
That's why you're in a sort of air raid shelter,
yes.
aren't you? Which is
oh, yes. They reinforced one of our walls here to make it feel like an air raid shelter.
Now, you've been sitting here, haven't you, when there was a bomb placed on that counter?
Yes.
And you had to sit there looking at it,
Well, quite honestly, I wasn't aware of it at the time. We were so busy trying to warn our guests about it that I didn't realise the bomb was quite so near.
A British bomb disposal officer, Major George Stiles, won the George Cross when he defused a bomb planted in a Europa bar. He dragged the bomb away with a piece of string. There can't be many hotels in the world that have been bombed 5 times. Have you ever thought that you'd like to sort of pack it all up?
When you say bombed 5 times, we've been bombed 13 times.
Have you really?
Yes. The explosions, of course, have not necessarily been directed at the hotel, but unfortunately we're a very tall building, and every explosion within probably a mile radius seems to affect us and seems to hit us.
In the future, those of us who stay in the Europa will look back on the hotel as a memory of the tragedy in Ulster, and the hotel intends to ensure we will have something to remember it by. Guests are given a Europa club tie and a scroll that proves we've stayed here during the crisis. The hotel staff and the people of Northern Ireland don't have our privilege of escaping from the bitterness and violence. This extraordinary hotel, however, remains a symbol of the determination of Ulster people to somehow soldier on until the fighting finally stops. That film was made 4 years ago, and since then the Europa has been bombed another 12 times. But here it is, open for business as usual, in spite of the fact that it was closed down for nearly a year due to bomb damage.